everybody. I'm Aubrey. I sing here at Inside Out. And I just want to tell you a little bit about how Jesus has radically changed my life. I've sang my whole life. I knew that was something that God had given me to use for his kingdom. And man, I was wild. I grew up in the church. I knew about Jesus. I knew about the Holy Spirit, but I really didn't have a relationship with them. You guys might see my dog running around quarantine times. I just got off track. I was a little wild child and moved around the country after high school, just running from my life and running from my stuff. And at some point, that catches up to you. And I'm a firm believer that there are 2 times in your life where you're going to change your life. Whether you choose it, you see it, and you choose it to change it, or Jesus brings you to a place where you have no choice but to change it. And I was brought to that place. I was sitting on the side of the road in the car with my kids, and I was like, man, God, if you are who you say you are, if your promises are what what I hear that they are, I'm all in, because I can't do this anymore. I was never a druggie or anything like that, but just this longing and this searching for something. I had this deep loneliness and just crazy, like crazy, I was done running. It's time to address my stuff. And the first thing I heard him say after I felt this immense amount of peace was, remember how I told you to sing? And he opened a door for me to sing not even 2 weeks later. And all that stuff, the weight, the selfishness, the insecurity, all of that stuff just started purging out of my life. The Holy Spirit was something that, I never really knew anything about. And someone mentioned the Holy Spirit to me, and I'm like, the Holy what? Like, what is that? And I just began to seek him and to really commit my life to him. Not just saying I was a Christian, not just saying I was going to church and actually going, but reading my Bible, spending time with him in worship. And those layers that our heart's like an onion. And the more time you spend with him, it peels those layers back. And he started to do that. And man, just radically changed my life. And it doesn't mean that everything in my life has been easy and everything has gone the way I want, but I'll tell you the peace that I have knowing that he is all I need, and that his promises are real and his promises are true. And he does love you, and he loves us, and he wants so badly for us to come to him, especially in this time right now where it's crazy and, we are alone, and really the only ones that, unless you have kids and a spouse, he's there with you, and that was the thing going through everything that had been in my life. I always had this deep loneliness, and I was trying to, I moved every 6 to 8 months because that stuff starts to come up. And I've been in California for 8 years now, and just allowed him to change my life. I mean, stuff like I have an incredibly sarcastic, crude sense of humor, and God has changed that. Not that I don't have a sarcastic sense of humor, but just so much. Like, it's crazy to think of all the little ways, that he changes us. And man, I don't know if you know Jesus or not, but he is awesome, and he will completely change your life and fill you with this love and this peace and this satisfaction of just him. There's no more searching, and each one of us have a role to play in this world. We all have a purpose. We have a reason that we are created, and sometimes it's hard to know that. Being 33 years old as a singer, I'm like, 33 singing, like how is that gonna do it? But man, if it's God's will, he will provide a way, and each one of us have something that God has put in us that he wants to use, for his kingdom and to love on people. So I don't know, maybe you have some stuff that you're like, I don't know what I'm here for. You have a reason and you have a purpose, and God will show that to you. So that's my story. Thanks for listening, guys. Have a blessed day.